Hey guys, welcome to Revenue Accelerator. I'm here with my guest. I was going to say co-host, but so you've been promoted recently. I'm having one of those days. You're welcome. So this should be interesting. We're going to talk about what's working, what's not, and how Natalie, my guest, hashtag co-host for today, is able to actually leverage her brilliance in helping a lot of coaches, consultants, and even sometimes service providers be able to increase and generate new revenue streams with one of her unique skill sets. So Natalie, why don't you introduce us real quick to who you are, because you'll do a better job than me. And then we'll dive into what people can do and what they're doing wrong and what they can do better when it comes to your area of brilliance.
All right. Well, thank you, Kat. I appreciate you having me on the show today and getting to talk to your awesome audience. I have no doubt they're all powerhouses.
Yeah.
So I know, right? So I'm Natalie Lavelock. I am the owner of Natalie Lavelock Coaching and Consulting. And you're exactly right. I do work with coaches, speakers, and health professionals to help them build their programs and products so that they can leverage their time and not only reach more people, have more influence, but also build a life that they can truly love while they're doing it. So my background, I am a registered nurse by trade. I have a master's degree in nursing education, and I spent over 15 years of my career in corporate healthcare, designing educational programs, training the staff, did a little moonlighting, teaching college, brand new startup school of nursing. So I helped design some of their programs and that kind of stuff. But that's just a little history of me. About 5 years ago, I decided to move into entrepreneurship because I got the opportunity of a lifetime.
Whoop, like those.
I was offered a promotion at work, and in the hospital that I was working in, I knew what that meant. I knew what their idea of a promotion was, and it didn't really sound that great to me. I was going to be the manager over a department, and what that meant was that I was going to be on call 24/7, 365, nights, weekends, holidays. Whenever they had a hole in the schedule to fill, that became my job.
No one wants to be a hole filler.
No. Yeah, we just need a warm body.
Yeah. I mean, talk about life purpose.
Right, exactly. Funny you should mention that, because at the same time, I have 3 little boys at home.
How old are they?
They are 6, 9, and 12. Well, they were a little bit younger than that at that point, right. But I just had this moment of clarity where I realized any warm body could fill that role. And I believe that those children were given to me by God. And so I believe that my purpose as their mama is a job that nobody can do but me. And so it became abundantly clear to me at that point that if I was going to take on this job and the prestige of saying, I have this next management level experience in this role, that was all about me, and that was all about ego. It wasn't truly serving the people who needed me most, which was those little boys.
Wow. That's a good, that I can relate to that. It's funny, you do yours in youngest to oldest. I do mine. I'm like, who was born first, and then count backwards. So I have a 6, 4, currently. But yeah, it's amazing how children can actually cause you to kind of look at what's important. And I love you talking about that because, a lot of my people are entrepreneurs, and I talk about building a business that supports your life, not the other way around. And a lot of people in corporate America start creating this lifestyle, and they have all, whatever it is that they want to achieve. And then their life supports the business, their career. And they're not actually living, which is what I saw when I was climbing the corporate ladder. Was like, whoa, that is not how I want to live. But I'm also someone who wants to grow. So that's actually what you help people do now, is help them continue to grow in a way that's impactful. So what's your unique brilliance, and what do you see people screwing up when it comes to trying to do it themselves?
Biggest screw up is just doing everything backwards. and trying to get the quick payoff before you've done the work. We love our shortcuts. We do. We love our shortcuts.
I actually have a philosophy about putting effort into being lazy, which, is all about not taking the shortcut, because you get to take the shortcut later versus trying to take the shortcut now and causing you all kinds of trouble down the road.
Yeah. Yep. It works better when you do it right the first time.
Yeah. So you help coaches, consultants, healthcare providers develop new programs, improve the current programs. What do you see people do, like, basically putting the cart in front of the horse kind of situations?
Yeah. So my realm of expertise really is in developing programs. Everything I did in the hospital for over 15 years, I now do for entrepreneurs. So creating signature programs that, really help you stand out for who you are and what your expertise is, creating online courses, certification programs. If you want to teach your expertise to a group of people, I can do that. The biggest thing that I see people going wrong with is it's a two-part. One, they try and come out with their online course as the very first thing, because everybody wants that passive income and they want it now. Like, they want to put in a little bit of work and I'm going to automate it forever and just watch the money come rolling in.
That doesn't exist, guys.
It doesn't. And
the people who sell that as a possibility have all these other people working underneath them, and they've delegated it out, and they're not paying themselves the multiple millions that they're saying that their business is generating. So, just pop in that bubble just in case you were trying to feed into it. Not you, but whoever's listening.
Exactly. Yes.
Loving the sound effects. I like this teamwork. So people are, the build it, they will come philosophy.
Yeah. So the other thing, part of the reason, I'll give you a couple reasons why that doesn't work. Number one, it doesn't work because you don't have the following, the email list, the Facebook following. You don't have the platform really, with enough people who are interested and willing to buy to make that work. If this is what you're doing right as you're starting your business. So you don't have the following to make the sales. The other thing is, what you're doing is you're taking everything that's running around in your head and you're throwing it out there, and you don't really know that that's what people want. You know that that's what's in your head, but you don't know that that's really what anybody wants. So now you've taken,
they want.
Yes. You're taking all this time and energy, and a lot of times it's pretty costly to get a professional course up and going. You're taking all this time, money, and energy creating this thing, and then you're like, ta-da, today is launch day, and you hear crickets.
Yeah, I fell for that once. Okay, I'll be honest. I fell for that multiple times early on when I was just a young entrepreneur.
Well, and so my business coach, she's always like, why don't you talk about the 6-figure, this, that, or another? I'm like, I hate 6-figure. If you put 6-figure in it, it's like repelling me, because so many people have claimed, oh, this is your 6-figure, whatever, or, oh, you can earn 6 figures overnight. No, you can earn 6 figures overnight after you've put the 2 or 3 years in work in advance of that, right? You do the work, you do the preparations, and when you've got the right system, the right audience, the right offer, then when you turn on the launch strategy, you could make 6 figures very quickly.
Sure.
But it's such a falsehood, and I feel like it's such a it's a trap for people. And so
it's the bro marketing.
I'm very hesitant to use it.
It's very aggressive. It's sleazy selling, right? And that's not what actually delivers results. And so if something sounds too good to be true, right? If it's the same testimonial over and over again, and you're not seeing a diversity, you're not seeing new ones, you're not seeing case studies, right? Like, you got to scratch beneath the surface to see if there's something that's really substantial there. So what's your advice for people who are, because I'm totally in agreement with what you're saying, which is, my philosophy is, do, the one-on-one work, then do a group
Mm-hmm.
program, and it's kind of like go big to small, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at scale, and you're looking at volume, and you're looking at what business assets you have. Like you talked about your email list size, your presence, your platform, how you bring, what are the different ways you bring in leads, cause I'm the lead boss. Just got to say that. So doing the group and then doing the course. So when someone's ready to, they know their signature system, they've created a repeatable way to be able to get results, because it's not just about doing it for yourself, it's doing it for clients. What would your best advice be when it comes to starting to build out that course?
So really for me, when I work with people on moving towards their course, it's really just a natural progression and expansion of what they've already done.
Yeah.
And that's why I love it when people get the pathway right, because I'm not going to say you don't have to work at it at all, but it's so much easier.
So what
much
works.
Easier.
Right.
You know what works, you know what people will buy. As you're going from one-to-one to a group, you start to figure out the assets that have to go along with that.
Yes.
And now you have the assets, and now we're just going to transfer them over here into this course and create the videos and things that go along with that. So you're not having to teach it live, but you know what works, and it becomes so much easier to just let things happen in their normal natural progression. Same thing as like when we were all babies, right? We didn't stand up and run a marathon when we were 2 months old. No, you have to learn to sit up, and then you have to learn to push up on your belly, and then you have to learn to crawl. And some of us may have skipped crawling and went straight to walking, but nonetheless,
were you special?
You didn't go to running. You did not go to running. Not for me. I had to say that for somebody who's listening.
Someone out there who's going to be the jerk and be like, well,
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You learned. You didn't run at 2 months old. There.
Exactly. So yeah, it just becomes easy when you do it through the natural progression of.
Mm-hmm. So if you're talking to someone who's like, no, I'm special, I didn't crawl, I'm going to go ahead and skip the group program. I just want to go right to the course. Like, what would you tell them to keep in mind?
So I actually, honestly, I have very few clients who do that.
Mm-hmm.
They really have to make a good argument, really have to make a good case to me as to why they think they can pull that off. I will say, if you just have tons of money sitting around in the bank just waiting to get spent,
do it wrong.
You can make it happen. I mean, you can force anything to happen that you want if you've got enough resources behind you. But for most people, that's not the savviest way to go about building your business. So the other thing is I do have some entrepreneurs, some business owners who want to use like a mini course or a mini product as part of their funnel, as part of their lead generating system. So sometimes when I have people who are like adamant about wanting a course, I don't just stop them right there and try to tell them they're wrong. I explore, what is it you're looking for and what do you want to do with it?
Right. Because if your course can be sliced and diced and delivered in a different kind of way, it's still the concept, really.
Exactly. So you can still use a mini version of it or something like that early on in your business as a means of lead generation, or maybe just an introductory program of some kind. So be okay with that. So no, that's okay.
So what are some signs that people are ready for a course?
Signs that people are ready for a course. Typically they have consistent months of income. Typically they're making at least 10 to 20K per month in their business. At least 5 to 10,000 followers for them to be able to run a marketing plan too. They have to have, obviously they have to know what their market wants. They have to have proven success in selling their system in other ways first to know that this is the next best step for them. But those are really the big three for me, is their resources, their assets, their following,
Right.
excuse me, following, and then, knowing your market.
Right. Absolutely. So what's an example of like a client that you've worked with in terms of coming to you being like, hey, I want to do a course, and they qualify in terms of they've have a reputation, they've delivered, they're not an idiot and incapable of delivering results, just certain qualifiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
What has been their experience from reaching out to you and having concept into something concrete and deliverable? Like, what does that look
Mm-hmm.
like for, the average cat?
Sure. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just like take us a little bit,
Tangent
half a degree
away and
turn.
then bring us back.
So one of my clients, actually, she's a chiropractor, and she had been doing like her one-on-one program for a while and was getting good results with that. And so she decided to expand her one-on-one into a group.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's a chiropractor, she focuses on weight loss.
Mm,
That's her specialty.
right.
And so she expanded that into a group program of the same thing. But then she had people coming to her that were saying, you know what, I would really like to learn the anatomy and physiology, and I'd really like to learn the pathophysiology between some of the things that make people resistant to weight loss and things like that. So the next step for her then, instead of just going, one-on-one group course, the step for her was to the phone was ringing and my kids are bringing me the phones and I'm like, no, I'm on a call.
COVID life.
COVID, yeah, mom life, really.
Yeah.
So her people were wanting to understand the pathophysiology behind what's going on when people are resistant to weight loss. So she actually worked on a certification program to start teaching her methodology to other people.
I
Well,
love that.
Guess what the next level was for her after that?
Uh,
Those people wanted to start businesses of their own. And
Smart.
so the people she had trained to teach her methodology now are taking their expertise, blending it with her methodology, and now she has a master program where she's teaching people how to start their own businesses.
Yep.
So the pathway, just depending on what you're looking for in your business, where you're wanting to go, the pathway doesn't have to be strictly one-on-one group course.
Yes.
You can do one-on-one group.
Right. Well, and it's all about the leverage model. And like you're talking about at the beginning is how do you want to show up? What are your business assets, right? Like you can have multiple groups and you don't need to have 5,000 followers, but if you do, you might have an easier quote unquote revenue stream by setting it up and doing all that. And I love that you touched on the certification because that was actually one of the areas I was really curious about. That's another model that, I think is coming back. Right, is being able to be certified in a process and a mechanism that carries weight behind it. It's what might be replacing the college education, right? Back to those skill sets of, do you have the hardcore skills to be able to produce a result? And, going to college doesn't necessarily mean that you actually know, or even I know for myself, having an MBA didn't mean that I actually knew how to generate business. It meant that I was able to run and be a part of a cog in a wheel in a larger business, but not stand on my own 2 feet. I had to pay a whole other shit ton amount of money to learn. So how can
we're laughing? I'm laughing with you because I'm like, yeah, that's part of it.
I mirror that story. So how can people learn more about, creating their courses, get, even including a certification process, as part of their revenue stream, launching a little bit more in terms of, coming up with more of a signature system that really produces the results consistently, repeatedly, right? Which will get you more clients. Tell everyone how they can get in touch with you and how they can learn a little bit more about what you do.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So I actually have a program. It's called Create Your Programs and Products Now. And when you sign up for this, I'm going to tell you what you get. So you are going to get the Expertise into Income Blueprint. Okay, that's going to tell you how you can turn your expertise into a program or a product. That's a $197 value. Then you'll get the Profit Potential Power Hour.
Mm.
And in the Power Hour, this is a live training. This is not pre-recorded. I know your name and I know if you don't show up.
Nice. So you'll get called out.
Did you get the part where I said I taught college? I'm good at taking attendance.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so this is a live training and it goes through how you can use your signature program and products to create lucrative income streams for your unique business. So one is how to create it. The live training is how to use it. And then after that, you get a personalized one-on-one call with me where we look at what you learned in those 2 steps and how you can take that and turn it into your fastest path to profit. And that is a $495 value. So all of those together, that's over $1,000 in value. And for your audience, they're going to have the opportunity to get it for free.
I was like, well, at least got to be something. Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, you're sitting there going, is she selling on my show?
I was like, all right, look at her balls. Go for it. I was like, she's either going to drop the price or she's going to sell. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. No, that's really amazing. I love that.
And I think right now with everybody like being in the midst of COVID, we had a little dip in it. Most of the entrepreneurs where they live that I've been talking to, it's like, okay, things are evening out. And then now it's coming back up again.
Yeah, Deloitte just released a study that consumer spending is actually increasing. So, it's all relative, really. One of the sayings I like to share is just because the tide's out doesn't mean there's less water in the ocean. So if you're moving your offer, there's still opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of. So they can actually get this and we have a special link for you guys. So it's actionincubator.com/Nathalie, Natalie. Again, www.actionincubator.com/Nathalie. And that will give you access to what Nathalie was just sharing with us as it relates to, go ahead, cue it up again.
Create your programs and products now.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much. And you can always connect with her on LinkedIn. I'm sure she's not going to be opposed to that, but get your hands on this while you can. Nathalie, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Any parting words?
Thank you.
For our listeners?
Thank you. No, it just, Kat, exactly what you said a few minutes ago. If you haven't taken the steps to move your business online, I don't care if you have a brick and mortar or if you're doing coaching services or if you're doing healthcare services, there is some aspect of your business that can be done online, and now is the time to do it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I approve that message. All right, guys, check you out later. And thank you so much for coming on.